out, it hasn't stopped. It's continued the mystery of judgment. The new harbingers, have happened up to this day.
It has intensified.
It has intensified, yeah. And then the last part is what's happening now. The shakings that have come upon America and the world. Is that the continuation of this mystery? Is there a mystery behind it? Is there a biblical template behind it? What's the point? Where is it heading? Are we approaching judgment? How much time do we have? And what do we need to know? What keys do we need to know to prevail and stand for the days to come? That is what the Harbinger 2 reveals. And that's why I had to write it. I've never felt such a compulsion to do it timely, like this is for the time. I had to write it now.
Yeah, we're going to unpack it today, Jonathan. There is such anticipation, folks, around this book. This is a book for these times, specifically written for such a time as this, and you can have it. For a gift of any amount of support here to TBN, you can own The Harbinger 2. Jonathan, we're so excited about it. Did you ever think that you would actually write a sequel? You touched on that, but you've written the Book of Mysteries, The Oracle, so many great books that we've talked about, so many bestsellers that we've talked about here on TBN. But The Harbinger, to me, in reading it, again, it came out in 2012, the first Harbinger.
Yes.
I didn't expect a sequel.
Yeah.
And maybe you didn't either,
well,
but God led you in that direction. And again, with the shaking going on in this country, it's time.
Well, I knew there was going to be, because I knew it wasn't the end. I knew that what had happened in 2001 was, and then after, was the beginning, was the warning. What does the word harbinger mean? Harbinger means the warning of, or the sign of something to come. So the entire thing that happened then was a harbinger, a warning of things to come later. And I knew when I looked at it, and it's even, you could, if you look at the last part of that book, my first book, The Harbinger, you'll see it's talking about what's going to come, and there is a absolute pattern. I mean, the nation has a choice, but if it doesn't go in the right direction, it's going to progress, and that's exactly what's happening. I've been watching it happen, but I just knew I could not release it. I could not do it until the time was right, and the time is now.
Yeah, get us up to speed real quick. We're going to dig into this, Jonathan, but between The Harbinger and The Harbinger Part 2, it seems like the harbingers, the warnings, were not heeded by and large here in the United States, and we are in a very precarious position right now.
Yeah, well, listen, even that, Eric, is part of the mystery of the Harbinger, because what was that about? Remember, it was the people of Israel are being warned. The Lord allows their hedge to be taken away, shaken, enemy attack, but that's it. But then what do they respond? They say, and this is the key scripture of the Harbinger, Isaiah 9:10. The bricks have fallen in the attack, but we're going to build stronger without God. We're coming back. The sycamore has been struck down, but we're going to plant cedars or every tree in their place. So it's saying we're coming back without God. We're going to defy God. And so all those things were manifesting in America, which wasn't just about what God was. It was about what the nation does. The nation was saying, we're not coming back right now. We're heading away from you. And that's exactly what happened to America. And that's why things got so much worse. I mean, you look at how it was in 9/11, and even then it was not good. Yeah. But look at where we are now. Things have happened. It's part of it's not just the signs of these harbingers. It's America itself is following the footsteps of ancient Israel, and that was the warning of the harbinger. It's happened, and now here we are.
Yeah, there are such close parallels, Jonathan, between ancient Israel and America. You unpack it in the book. Some of the mysteries in the Harbinger 2, many of them, most of them, you couldn't reveal in the Harbinger Part 1. One of them is connected to the Pentagon.
Yes.
Obviously the seat of American military might in the D.C. area.
Yes.
Tell us about the mystery regarding the Pentagon, which you reveal in the Harbinger 2.
Yeah, I didn't even, in the Harbinger, the original Harbinger, I didn't even get into Washington. I was really focused on New York, pretty much, But here's the thing. One, and this is part of, and of course, during this time, we'll only be able to touch on some of the many things that are there. But to give you a taste, this is in the section of the unrevealed. These are some of the things that I could not say, but are from there, but are affecting us, are relevant for us now. And that is this. When judgment came to ancient Israel, the powers of the nation were struck. God humbles the nation, strikes its powers, and says that listen, you have the powers because of me, but without that. So one of the powers of America is certainly its military power. So what happens on 9/11? It gets struck. I mean, actually, the Pentagon is it's almost like the ancient wall. We don't have walls, but one of the signs of judgment is the wall gets breached. Well, it happened. But the thing is that But he does that, and he brings the nation back to its foundation. So when did America's great military power begin? Well, we became a great superpower. You know, we were kind of isolationists. What brought us in once and for all was World War II. We entered in 1941. We never came out of being the world superpower of military. And so what happened was, at that same time, there was a building built that matched, that marked that very rise and marked the very moment that America was rising in 1941. It was the Pentagon. So the question is, they gathered in that, you know, on the other side of the Potomac, and they broke the ground to begin the Pentagon, marks the rise of American power. What day was it? The Pentagon was born on September 11th, 9/11, 9/11. But it was, God brought it all back. You see, you know, why was it 9/11? Why did all this happen on 9/11? Because that was the day of America's power being birthed. And the thing, it was long before it was a day of calamity. It was the day of the foundation of America's rise. So what's the warning? And let me say something else about this. The building that the Pentagon replaced, the old War Department, had been existing for 60 years. If you take the date that the Pentagon was born and add 60 years, it comes out to September 11, 2001. The exact day, exact year. And so the thing is, so the warning is, God is saying, listen, all your blessings are because of me. You rose because of me. I allowed that. But if you turn away from me, then all your power is going to crumble, including your military power, the superpower. Now, we are here in New York City. Now there's another power that was linked